Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Scott K. So the TOFU 60 has been one of the quintessential entry points for many in the custom mechanical keyboarding hobby. It is simple, somewhat price friendly, and fairly readily available without any group buys. On top of that, I love its timeless looks and sturdy aluminum construction, and its incredible modding potential as I have demonstrated in my previous TOFU 60 wireless video. But is the TOFU the only available option as a gateway into the serious mechanical keyboarding hobby? Once you retire your GK61, where else can you go? So that's where this comes into play. And I'm just joking. This is the Doggy Wonderland desk mat by Keebsforall, and decided to show it off since it's cute and it's full of doggies, and who doesn't really like doggies, right? Probably the same people that also hate keyboards. Plus, this next thing I'll be introducing is also from Keebsforall as well, so I hope you enjoyed the doggies. So without further ado, introducing the Freebird, the FB60 by Keebsforall. The Freebird is actually a 60% tray and O-ring mounted aluminum keyboard designed with the feedback from the community. Now, when I say tray mounted 60% O-rings in aluminum, what comes to mind? Yes, the mechanical keyboarding staple, the TOFU 60. However, there are some differences to note about the Freebird that shows Keebsforall took a slightly different approach to this keyboard. First of all, Keebsforall wanted to ensure a high quality finish for the Freebird, so it was E-coated versus the standard anodization or painting. This ensures an ultra smooth and even finish, typically found on much higher end boards. In addition, Freebird comes with a nice chamfered edges to add some character versus the more monolithic design of the TOFU. Even below, you can see that the feet extend all the way across, similar to something like a mode keyboard. So a lot of premium details in a keyboard that costs a mere $135 for the entire kit. When I say $135 for the entire kit, you get this nicely E-coated aluminum case. Then you get included silicone noise dampener, so you don't have to add your own foam. It's a perfect thickness and shape that was custom fit for this application. Then you get the FB60 PCB, which is a south-facing for the most part, I'll get to that later, featuring the standard KO hot swap sockets below. It does not feature any RGB, so something to keep in mind if that is something that matters to you. Then you get this gold anodized aluminum plate. At first glance, I thought it was brass, but it's actually an aluminum plate that was finished in gold, so it looks pretty good against the white case. Then you get some O-rings to be able to O-ring mount the PCB and the plate to the case. It's a nice touch since these are kind of a pain to get. Then you get a set of Durock V2 stabs. That's right, Durock V2 stabs. These are 20 bucks alone. My kit was a prototype, so it came with V1, but the production will get V2s for sure. So essentially, what this thing is a fully inclusive kit that includes all the necessary components to both build and mod your keyboard at once. For $135, that is an incredible deal. All you need is some nice keycaps and you have yourself a great keyboard. Speaking of which, these are the MT3 Camillo Keycaps from Drop. I really love the combination of the blue, white, and gray, and it looks perfect for this white case. I'll post the links to this keycap set below. So let's put this thing together. One thing to note is that this is a prototype and there will be some changes in the final production version. For example, there are currently 6 standoffs in this case. However, Keebsforall will be removing the center 2 since they're not really necessary or advisable for a good O-ring mount installation, so something to keep in mind. I completed this keyboard with the provided Durock stabilizers, and I also used some Krytox XHT BDZ. This is some interesting stuff. Not sure if I like it or not, but imagine toothpaste. So I mentioned that the Freebird was mostly south-facing. Even on the TOFU, you'll notice the escape and the one key being flipped north-facing to accommodate the USB-C port. But interestingly enough, you'll notice this happening in random other places on the board as well, like this one right here, right in the center of the R3 row. And the really funky one, the east and west facing on the bottom row. I was told that these modifications were made to allow the board to have more flexibility with different configurations and also allow for ISO options. By now, you probably noticed, holy crap, this guy put Gateron Browns on this board. Why? What is up with all these YouTube content creators putting brown switches on their boards? No. But hear me out here. This is no ordinary brown. This is when the Gateron Brown goes to school and then comes back more sophisticated and well-spoken. This is the Gateron CAP Brown. If you recall my review on the Gateron CAP Yellow V2, this guy has a similar thocky and poppy sound signature while being much smoother than a standard brown. Plus this right here, I am keeping it completely stock. No additional lubing, no filming, no nothing. So well, enough talk. Let's have a listen. So along with the MT3 caps, you get a pretty deep and thoughtful board with the brown switches on this. Take it for what it is, you don't have to love it, but these will probably be the only browns I would actually use myself. Sometimes I get fatigued by hyper tactile switches and these fit the bill on those days. If you don't like it, you can always send them to Glarses, right? There was some talk about the Freebird being a lower case height than the TOFU, but that's not really true. The front of the case is exactly identical, however, one thing I can say is that the rear of the case is lower, so you get a less aggressive rake on this board. So what are my final thoughts? I wasn't able to really mod this board beyond the stock specifications since it was a prototype and I have to send it back after this review. I would prefer to use a different dampening material and tune the O-ring mounts a tad bit more, but honestly, for what it's worth, the Freebird 60 is nothing to balk at. While the board has its quirks and it's not perfect, I feel that for $135, for many premium touches like the E-finish, the premium components like the Duroc V2 stabs, and the all-inclusive nature with the O-rings and the dampener part of the kit, I think the Freebird is an excellent choice for someone getting into this hobby and was strongly considering the TOFU 60. At the end of the day, it'll be up to your preference in terms of the look you're going for, and if you're in the market for a TOFU and want something less angular and prettier, give the bird a look. As usual, if you liked the video, please like and subscribe and I will have more content for you in the future. Thanks.